If
Yeah.
you don't have like a day job,
Mhm.
I recommend like getting like binders like this to cover out the light and just
Right.
work like for a few months, like
Mhm.
an opposite time zone. It's worth it.
I was wondering if you could share, like, your first, how did you get your first role as a DM setter?
Okay, so the first role that I got as a DM setter was for a tennis coach. And the thing that I did was that I leveraged my closing experience. I reached out to an operator and I told him that I've closed X amount of deals.
So, do you think it's okay to go for commission-based pay or monthly salary type of pay when you're just getting started with high ticket sales?
I would say if you can, find a role with a base pay if possible. I wouldn't say to think so much of like, whether it's a base pay or a commission, just get your foot into the door if that is your first offer. Okay, the question that Amish asked, I have a very good answer to this. Okay, so I was in a closing program in the past. So I landed it through my mentor's network. Once you land that one offer, everything snowballs because now you can use that offer as leverage. Basically, my topic for today, right, is to inspire and motivate you guys to understand what setting really entails and to think 10 times bigger than just being a sales rep, okay? Because at the end of the day, I don't want you guys just to be sales reps. I don't want you guys to become setters. I don't want you guys to become closers the rest of your life. So me being someone that currently manages a setting community, me being someone that has managed 6-figure, 7-figure setting teams, and currently operate for some of the biggest trading offers right now, I want to show you guys a new perspective on how you guys can actually elevate to the next level. So before I start, right, I want to show you guys that I wasn't like someone that came from like a Western background as well, right? I'm a lot like you guys as well, right? I'm born and raised in Singapore, Have any of you guys been to Singapore before, by any chance?
No.
No?
No.
Yeah. It's basically a small country in Southeast Asia. So it's quite near to Malaysia, Indonesia, like that sort of places, right? So I was struggling with the same time zone issues that a lot of you guys are having right now. But somehow, right, this month, I'm on track to make around 35K USD. Okay. So I want to show you guys that it's possible as long as you guys put your mind to it. So like a lot of you guys, right, I've always tried to make a lot of money, right? I tried flipping alcohol. I did high stakes betting as well. It didn't go so well. I lost a lot of money, learned a lot of lessons, and I eventually went into door-to-door sales, right? So that is when my obsession for sales came because I found out that if I learn this skill and I have the ability to sell to anyone, I would never go hungry, right? So I quickly became the top sales rep. At 18, I closed $50,000 in sales in my first month being a door-to-door sales rep, okay? Have any of you guys done door-to-door sales before? Anyone? No?
Not personally. No.
Okay. If you guys have done door-to-door sales, you would know that this is the ultimate test of greed. Like you would have to literally be in the sun and knock doors like every single day, right? So it's not something that it's very easy, but it built the foundation for me, right? Through door-to-door sales, I only went into online closing, okay? So this was back in around 2024, around February. So about a year ago, right? I transitioned into closing first, right? I hit 7K a month in 4 months, closing for a pretty big e-com offer. But I was in uni as well, right? And I was on an EST offer, so in the US. And the Zoom calls took a lot away from me, right? So I basically kind of just thought like closing wasn't for me, right? And I kind of have a unique background in a sense where I actually transition into setting, okay? And bear with me, this is a unique perspective that I have. But I strongly believe that everyone that wants to go into closing should learn setting first, okay? Because setting is literally the highest leverage skill set that you can learn because it not only affects the show rate, it actually affects the close rate as well, okay? So basically, I got into setting. I hit 6K my first 3 months while in uni studying computer science in Shanghai, okay? I'm currently in Shanghai right now, so I'm in China. And I basically transitioned to setter management as well, August 2024, managed some of the biggest fitness offers in the space, right? So this is a screenshot of me getting promoted, basically. So it was a IFBB Pro fitness offer. And they were like, yo, Aiden, since you're such a good setter, let me promote you to a management position, right? And of course, I took it. So this is where I started snowballing. Eventually, right, I got into a growth operating community. So I started to partner up with growth operators. I took a fat percentage to manage their setting teams. Aside from that, I also started to build a personal brand for myself, right? On X and Instagram. And it just snowballed from there, literally. Like I started to get 5K wires, 7K wires in a single month for a single creator. Okay. And this was alongside building out my personal brand and Elite Setters as well, which is my community. Yep. So I started building out Elite Setters community. It was an Instagram group chat of 3 people at first. And then I got them results, slowly building to a Discord of over 50 people right now. Okay. And eventually I started operating and sales managing as well. So I started to learn funnels, marketing, management systems, all while building ES and my personal brand. Okay. So you guys can see a little bit of my story, right? Of how I went, the journey that I went down. But what were the results that I got, right? Because that is the most important, right? The first thing I did was when I hit 20K a month, I traveled to 4 countries in a single month. And this was back in August. So on the first week of August, I went to Tokyo. And then after that, I went to Greece. I went to Dubai. And then I went to Thailand. Okay. I'm 21. I've been to 4 countries in a single month. Okay. I linked up with my business partner and a few of my students as well. I flew my dad out to Athens at 21. Okay. And the look he gave me was something that I'll never ever forget. Okay. How many of you guys over here have, like, what is the reason you guys started this? I want to know. Like, why did you get into the online space? Anyone?
Location and financial freedom.
Okay. That is a good one, right? Anyone else?
For me as well, it's kind of the same goal to take my parents out of, a financial debt and be financially free.
Fuck yeah, bro. Yeah, I fuck with that. Like, one strong reason on why I actually was doing this was because for my parents. Like, I really wanted to show them that I could do it myself, and I didn't want them to pay my school fees as well. So having this sort of reason, right, behind you, backing you on why you should show up every day, right, is going to be the biggest motivator and biggest needle mover for you. You can't just like rely on yourself, right? You can't just say like, I want to make 10K a month because I want to make a lot of money, or I want to buy like nice things. It's always for someone or for a certain goal. Because if you don't have a North Star that you're reaching, you're never going to succeed, right? You're never going to get to where you want to be. So that is super important for you guys to remember, right? Always have a North Star. So this was what I got, right? I scaled to 21K a month, CC, in August. If you want to see my interview with Kashi, one of my mentors, it's in my Instagram. So it's a link over there, how I went from 0 to 21K a month. And then currently, I'm on track to make 30K a month profit this month, okay? So this is an example of a client that I signed a couple of weeks ago, a huge dating client, Abesh knows. And then this is a wire that I got last month for one single client. Okay. So I want to show you that this space has so much potential as long as you know what you're doing. And that is exactly what I'm going to tell you in the next couple of slides. So now the question is, right? How did I go from a broke uni student to now being able to be on track for a 30K month, right? Couple of things, right? The first thing is that I treated setting as an actual high leverage skill. So what do I mean by this? A lot of people, as I say, take setting as a very low leverage skill, right? It's just sending DMs, or you're just calling leads, right? Maybe they think like, oh, the marketing is more important, the closing is more important, okay? So I want to show you that this space has so much potential as long as you know what you're doing. And that is exactly what I'm going to tell you in the next couple of slides. So now the question is, right? How did I go from a broke uni student to now being able to be on track for a 30K month, right? Couple of things, right? The first thing is that I treated setting as an actual high leverage skill, okay? So what do I mean by this? A lot of people, as I said, take setting as a very low leverage skill, right? It's just sending DMs, or you're just calling leads, right? Maybe they think like, oh, the marketing is more important, the closing is more important. But being a setting coach and being in the setting industry for the longest time, right? 2 years now, almost, setting is actually one of the easiest levers that you can pull to increase revenue in your business. Okay. I don't want you guys, if there's setters over here, I don't want you guys to look at setting as you're just booking calls. Okay. As a setter, you are a revenue engineer. Okay. Remember, right? On how, like even the first contact, right, with leads, how can you capture their attention? How can you create urgency in the conversation that's going to get them to show up for the call, which eventually is going to become a closed deal, right? Stuff like that is super, super, super important, right? Think about it this way, right? There's so many amazing closers in this space, okay? The competition is crazy for closers. Your best bet to stand out is to double down on setting first, become an asset in the setting space, then only transition into bigger vehicles, right? Because when you become a closer, an operator, a sales manager, you will understand that the setting process is a huge component that affects the entire sales process, right? So how many of you guys are appointment setters over here, by the way? Just let me know. DM setters, phone setters, who? Okay, I can't see your screen, by the way. So like you have to like talk to me. Just so you guys know.
You can unmute yourself, guys, and
Yeah.
I'm currently looking for opportunities to get started as a setter. I
Okay.
haven't yet, so yeah, currently looking.
Nice. Are you a DM setter or a phone setter?
I've been taking interviews for phone setting. It's because even though I'm outreaching for DM setting, I haven't been getting much responses. But I do have an interview lined up for like in the next 2 or 3 days for DM setting. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Solid. Yeah. For interviews, right? The number one thing is that you got to show that you are an asset, right? It's the same thing, right? Like people think that interviewing is a separate skill set. But if you think about it, interviewing is you selling yourself on why you're the best choice out of everyone else. It's also, in a sense, it's closing as well, right? Instead of closing the prospect, you're closing the interviewer. So always come down to like how I can show value to the business instead of like me, how I can position myself for the business to grow in the best way possible. Make sense?
Totally, yes, right.
Yeah. So that is the thing, right? Setting is something that I see a lot of people take lightly and they pay for it, right? So I personally, right, I recommend everyone start from setting first because it builds character, it builds grit, right? Because you don't have inbound leads coming to you anymore, right? You have to actually talk to the leads. You're the first point of contact. The leads are the coldest, right? And always remember that it is a high leverage skill set, right? And you have the ability to affect the offer's show rate, close rate, okay? Even close rate as well. Do you guys know why? Anyone, take a guess.
Because you
Yeah.
qualify in the league.
Yeah. One reason, right, why it affects the close rate is because there's three like sort of like reasons why someone would buy from an offer or like a business in the first place. One is if they fuck with the vehicle, right? If they see that the vehicle can actually get them there. So let's take an example, right? Maybe we are selling for a trading offer, okay? And the trading unique mechanism is like, we will get you to 10K a month in the next 60 days, right? And then the guy sees that guarantee and they're sold on it. That's why they actually buy the program, okay? That is the first reason. The second reason is, of course, because they fuck with the business owner himself. So the personal brand of the creator, okay? So they maybe go into the program, they see his lifestyle, they think like, oh, you know, it's an amazing person, right? I want to work with this guy. But do you guys know what is the reason on why people buy courses on programs? Try to guess, and try to understand why it affects the close rate.
Depends
From
on
their psychology and ego.
Kind of. Any other guesses?
also
I think they buy who they trust.
Sorry?
I think they buy who they trust.
With the cross?
Trust. I think it's
Yeah, trust.
Crossed. What do you mean by crossed?
I think it means trust.
Trust. Okay, yeah, trust. So the third reason, right, is because they like the sales reps. I'm not even kidding. If they have an amazing conversation with the setter and an amazing conversation with the closer, and they mess with you, they feel like they can relate to you as a sales rep, they would buy as well. Okay. And the closer, think about it, right? Why only rely on the closer to bridge that gap and trust to get someone to buy the program when you as the setter in the DMs and you as the setter on the phone can build that same rapport as well, right? Because now you're not just relying on one person, right? You as the setter can actually dictate, right? When you build rapport in the DMs, when you actually create urgency on the phone, right? That person associates you with himself as well. They're going to be like, oh, you know, damn, like Jack, you know, I spoke to Jack on the phone. He seems like a G, right? I want to know more about the offer, right? Which means that he's going to show up on the closing call, which means eventually he's going to mess with both the closer and the setter, and he's going to close, all right? So this is the reason why setters can actually affect the close rate, okay? Very, very important, right? So I want to give you like an ideal path for someone that is starting out in the info sales space, okay? And this is going to make you an asset, okay? A lot of the times, right? Like I see setters come in or sales reps come in and they kind of miss a couple of steps, right? And because of that, they never reach their fullest potential. They always stay stuck, right? Because as a setter or as a closer, if you can't see the next step on where you want to go, you are never going to progress. You're always going to be like, oh, I'm stuck as a DM setter, right? Let me find the next DM setting role, okay? You're always in a hamster wheel, chasing the next offer, chasing the next payment. Without progression, without vision, you're never going to go far, okay? So the ideal way that I train all my setters in my community, and I recommend you guys to do it as well, is to learn everything about setting first, and then go into closing, and then eventually operations, right? So an example is first you learn DM setting, right? Get on a DM setting role for cash flow, okay? So now you have cash flow. While you're on a DM setting offer, getting cash flow, you learn phone setting on the side, Okay, so now you have cash flow coming in every single month while you are learning a skill that is closer to closing. Okay, once you have these two skill sets, you pitch your offer owner on triaging leads after the DMs. Does any of you guys know what is triaging? Just curious.
It is like
I think
literally.
Sorry, what?
Yeah, please go on.
Sorry, I think you cut off there a little bit.
Okay, so triage is like setting
Mhm.
up with what to step 1, step 2, and step 3. So it is like leveling up ourselves. That is all I know.
Not really. So a triage process, right, is basically when someone books a call or when the DM setter or dialer books a call, you have a short pre-call process which qualifies and ensures that the lead is going to show up before the call. So for example, if let's say, you're setting for a fitness offer, you're DM setting, right? And then you book the person in. But because you want to increase the close rate, or, for certain reasons, some offers might even add the lead into a WhatsApp group with the closer to increase close rate. And then the triager will be someone that picks them up, picks the phone call up with the person that booked the call and say something like, yo, what's up? So saw you book a call with XYZ, right? Just calling to confirm if you are able to make it for the call. And I just want to ask you a couple of questions to see if this is going to be a right fit for you. Something like that. So it's a bit different from phone setting. Can you guys see the difference a little bit between triaging and phone setting?
Yes.
Okay, fire guys. So basically, once you learn phone setting on the site, you can pitch an offer owner to triage leads, right? And why wouldn't the offer owner let you triage? Because it's just helping them increase their close percentage, right? So triaging and phone setting is very similar. So you basically are able to stack skills while you are doing DM setting. Once you do this, you fully transition into a phone setting role, okay? Because you've already learned phone setting. And at this point, you would have already mastered DMs because you've been in the DMs for a couple of months right now. Once you transition to phone setting, you now have two skill sets under your belt. You have DM setting and phone setting as well, and triaging, okay? So you're not a commodity anymore. You're not a one-dimensional setter, right? You're someone that actually understands setting full stack, okay? DM setting, DM closing, phone setting, and triaging. Once you do that, then you can go into closing or setter management, right? Imagine if you skipped phone setting, you went from DMs immediately into closing. That jump would be too big for you, right? You wouldn't be able to adjust that well, right? Even for setter management, right? If you just do DMs, that means you can only manage DM teams, right? You can't manage phone setting teams anymore. So this is a mistake that I see a lot of setters make, right? They either do phone setting or DM setting, and then they jump to here, right? Which is just going to make you not as flexible as someone who understands everything about setting and would leverage that to his advantage when he eventually goes into sales management, operating, or coaching. So does it make sense, guys, by the way?
Yes.
Yeah. So very simple, right? Don't just learn one form of setting, right? Master DM setting, DM closing, phone setting, and triaging. Okay.
Phone setting and closer.
What's up?
Closer are same thing or different?
No, it's different from closing. Phone setting is totally different from closing. So phone setting is just let's say you have an application form, right? And then someone fills up the application form and then you dial them to book them in. Yeah. So before I go on to the next one, have any of you guys played video games before? Anyone?
Yes.
Or what did you play, bro?
Yes.
I played a bit. Well, it's a new game, Battlefield 6 and 2K26, or is it? Yeah.
Nice, nice. Yeah. I played FIFA as well, bro. I like sports games, so like similar to NBA. Yeah. But basically, why I asked this question, right, is because the info space, you have to understand, right? This space is very reliant on your skills, right? It's kind of like a video game, You level up your character by getting XP and by getting items as well, right? The info space is the exact same thing, okay? It's not like e-com. It's not like trading. It's a very unique business model where you level up your character as a sales rep or a marketer, whatever, right? And then you can get higher leverage opportunities, which is eventually going to get you more income as well, right? So even for me and Abesh, right? Abesh is currently a growth operator, right? I'm also a growth operator, right? How did we get here? It's not like we jumped, all the way. Like for Abesh, for example, he was closing for Raised him, right? For a long time before he started coaching you guys on sales. And even before he went into growth operating, he understood marketing at a very deep level by working on those offers as well. Same thing, right? Remember, you have to level up your character. You have to be the man before the money, okay? Super, super important for you guys to understand, okay? Always the man before the money. And how you do this is by getting skills first, okay? So I know there was a couple of guys that wanted to go into operating, right? What are you doing right now to make sure that you level up your character? There was this one person, I can't remember who is it. Don't make me call your bro. Tell me.
I think that was me, bro.
Okay. Oh, that was you? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anyone else, bro, that wants to go into operating sales management?
Yeah, should be a lot of people.
Yeah. Let me know, guys.
Eventually, but starting with closing first. If I can get good experience on sales and do well on that, and then move to operating in the future.
Fuck yeah, bro. You're on the right path right now, right? Even for closing, right? Even though I wasn't a full-fledged closer, I still hit 7K a month. And even when you eventually become an operator, you need to learn closing to close the clients, right? Like the operating clients. So it all connects, guys. You guys can see it, right? Everything connects. Yeah. So basically, this is a couple of skills that I learned that made me an asset. All right. So systems and automations like Zapier, stuff like that, marketing, right? For my own coaching business and also for my clients as well, right? The 4 core setting skills. Remember, not just DM setting, not just phone setting, DM setting, DM closing, phone setting, and triaging. Management as well, right? Closing as well, and business acumen. You know, how to actually arrange deals properly, how to speak to 7-figure entrepreneurs, right? Stuff like this will get you a higher income, okay? So I know some of you guys right now, you guys might be aiming for closing or you guys might be aiming for setting. But if you guys want to eventually go into something else that is totally different, for example, backend or operating, it would be to your advantage to learn another skill set to pair along with it, okay? For example, management. Right? Management is a skill set itself. It sounds easy, but it really isn't. Okay. A lot of people think that management is just professional babysitting, right? But it's not. Like, it takes a lot to learn how to manage a team, how to hire the right talent. Because if you hire the wrong talent, you're wasting your business owner's time, right? Which is eventually going to get you fired as well. So stuff like this, right? Always, always, always make sure that you guys are learning skills every single day. Okay. So super important for you guys to know. And the next thing, right, that got me to 30K a month as well was literally, this is one of the most important things, right? I want you guys to really, really pay attention to this and make sure that you guys do this for yourself as well, okay? It's networking and personal branding, okay? I know a lot of coaches, and I'm sure Arbesh has told you the importance of it as well, but the amount of sales reps that do not leverage this enough in their personal brand and just show the world like who they are is so much. Like, a lot of you guys think that networking, personal branding, especially like creating content and stuff like that, is only for business owners, right? It's only for people that have reached a certain income ceiling. But think about it this way, right? If you are a sales rep and you do personal branding, you're going to stand out from everyone else who doesn't give a shit about personal branding, right? When Abesh connects you to an offer owner, a sales manager, the first impression they're going to get is from your Instagram, right? That is literally the highest leverage thing that you can do as a sales rep, okay? So even if you are a closer, even if you're a setter, make sure to start posting, right? Make sure to talk to people, okay? It has helped me build a community, right? I'm literally a 21-year-old guy in uni studying computer science, okay? I'm not someone special. I'm from Asia as well. You know, I work EST hours sometimes, you know, but because of my personal brand, I was able to get to where I am today right now, right? I work with 6 to 7-figure entrepreneurs as well, right? I learned management, I learned operating. All of this stuff wouldn't have come without me operating. I mean, without me actually networking with people, okay? So super important for you guys, right? Is anyone here like posting consistently on social media by any chance? Besides Abesh, anyone? No?
Starting on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn? Yeah, LinkedIn could be good. Yeah. Are you cold DMing people or what?
Yeah, I'm full DMing also for my own product and
Nice.
commenting and so.
That is solid, bro. Like that, if you think about it, what you're doing is setting, right? You're like kind of appointment setting them, right? It's the same thing. So
Okay.
don't be afraid to get your name out there, all right? Even as sales reps, because no one does it. So if you do it, you stand out, right? At the end of the day, right? Info is a people's business, okay? Like the amount of people you know actually dictates your net worth. Like as unfair as it seems, right? Even if you're the best, but if no one knows or likes you, you're not going to get anywhere. Okay. So if you guys genuinely want to have a long-term career in info sales or info, I highly recommend that you guys start posting content, right? Because it literally changed my life. I'm sure it changed Abesh's life as well. And yeah, there's no better time to start than literally today, right? Easiest way you can start building a personal brand as a sales rep is by documenting your journey, right? And just generally just being a cool person, right? Like Abesh, like how did we meet, bro?
Yeah, it was on Instagram.
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally, yeah. It's just like that, right? It's so random. But because of this, right, I was able to hop on a call with you guys to talk about, my journey, give you guys some insights, right? So it really shows like how important like networking and personal branding is. Okay, so make sure to do this if you guys are not doing it already. And always remember, right, in order for you guys to step into the reality of you making 10, 20, 50K a month, you got to genuinely believe and rewire your mind that you are him or her. Okay, so not even kidding, like you have to like really believe that you are already a person that is capable of making 20, 50K a month. Okay, because once you do that, your actions are going to align to what you genuinely believe as well. So I'll give you an example, right? I got one of my students is in Russia. Okay, he's in Russia right now, and he came to me. He kept telling me like, "Yo, Nikita, yo, Aiden, I'm 16 years old, right? He's 16, by the way. I'm 16 years old. My English isn't good. I don't think I can even make like 2K a month. I sat him down, literally sat him down on a one-on-one call, and I told him, from now, Nikita, and I don't recommend you guys do this. From now, Nikita, you're gonna tell everyone that you are 18 years old. You are from the US, but you moved to Russia for school, and you are going to hit 6K a month this month. Okay. After that conversation, on the next interview he went on, he lied, right? He told people, right? I'm 18 years old. I'm from the US. Guess what happened? This month, he made 6.3K USD as a 16-year-old in Russia. Okay. And that was all because he genuinely believed himself that he wasn't the 16-year-old Russian high school kid, right? In his mind, he was this 18-year-old guy from a qualified country, right? Of course, I'm not saying that you have to lie. I'm just giving you an example of how powerful the brain is, right? So be it changing your environment or forcing growth, right? You have to understand that you are the person already that is capable of making, let's say, even 5K a month first, all right? You have to genuinely believe it. Super, super important, right? And I can tell you right now, like this journey is not easy at all, okay? You guys are gonna go through a lot of growth. You guys are gonna go through a lot of pain. Okay. I want to be honest with you. I don't want to lie to you and say like, oh yeah, it's an easy journey. Okay. It's not, right? You're gonna spend a lot of time in front of your computer, darling. You're gonna spend a lot of time in front of your computer talking to prospects. You're gonna burn out. Okay. But if you have unwavering self-belief in yourself, you're gonna make it to the other side, right? So this is Genghis Khan, right? This is Genghis Khan. I'm sure you guys know him. He always had self-belief. That's why he was able to conquer like half the world or like 1/3 of the world, right? I want you guys to genuinely believe that you guys can hit 5 to 10K a month and then let your actions follow up afterwards, okay? Always have that self-identity of someone that can hit that income goal first, be it even like moving to another country or maybe just changing your wallpaper to like, I'm going to hit 5K a month, right? Once you have that in place, then reality is going to catch up to you and then you're eventually going to reach 5, 10, 15. Okay. So this is super, super important. You really invested in Abesh, right? It's pretty painful at first, right? But the thing that you have to understand is that if you can't go through this, if you can't scale, if you want to scale, you're going to have to keep working through the pain, right? It never ends, but that's the price of success in business and in life. Okay. It's super important for you guys to know that in order for you to become the 2.0 version of yourself, right, you have to work through the pain. You have to go through tough periods, right? I'm currently right now, I'm in school. I have my own B2C coaching business. I operate 2 clients right now. I literally am super stacked, but I'm still making it work. Plus, I'm in Asia as well, just like you guys. I'm not in the US, right? But the reason why I was able to scale is because I changed my identity. I didn't look at myself, and I was saying like, yeah, I'm just a uni kid, right? I'm not gonna make it. I changed my identity, right? I got my friends, my uni friends, into setting. So now I have a group of people that are actively in the info space with me as well. I created my own environment. Okay, even though I had no one in Shanghai, I created my own environment. Same like how Abesh is doing it for you right now, right? Literally, Abesh is changing the whole of the path, right? He's making an environment where it's going to be conducive for you guys to learn online sales. Same thing, right? Make sure that you guys surround yourself with positive people, right? Show up for the calls as well. Whatever calls that Abesh do, make sure you show up for it, right? So that you can always be in the frequency of a high performer. And it never ends, right? That's the price of success in business and in life. So you guys have to make a commitment to yourself that this is something that you want to go down to and don't ever give up, all right? So all my client results are on my IG, right? And I want to give you guys an opportunity as well, okay? For anyone, right, that wants to post or tag me on IG, I will repost it, right? And a lot of business owners follow me as well, so you might land an offer, right? It's up to you guys. But yeah, other than that, this presentation has kind of been like a webinar, right? A little bit, and most people pitch at the end of the webinar, right? But I'm not gonna do that, right? My goal for you guys is to give you another vehicle that you guys can go down. Okay, so just to give you some context, right? My community specializes in setting, dialing, triaging, phone setting, and setter management as well. So if you guys want to go down into setter management, right, you guys can reach out to me. Right, I haven't offered this to many people as well. But if you guys feel like closing might not be something for you, right, feel free to reach out to me, right? We have full SOPs on management, how to build out your management portfolio to attract dream clients. We have a full Notion infrastructure built out on how to actually start getting clients. Roadmap as well, full stack setter management guide, all the way from how to hire, how to manage, how to sign your first client, everything. And one-on-one calls with me and my team till you land a client. Yeah. So this is just something that I'm giving you an alternate path. If let's say you mastered setting or you feel like closing isn't for you, right? This is something that I provide, right? But I still highly recommend you learn closing on the side as well with Abesh, because closing is one of the best skills that you can learn.
Yeah, most of it is like EST. So I've just been, yeah. At the moment, I feel like I cannot do it, but then every like interview that I do, it's EST. So now I'm like, maybe perhaps I should make a sacrifice. Yeah. So yeah, thank you for answering that question.
No worries. Yeah. I mean, are you in school or like working?
No, I actually do Airbnb. And since I have a bit of free time, I thought maybe I could get into sales.
Okay. If you don't have like a day job, I recommend like getting like binders like this to cover out the light and just work like for a few months, like an opposite time zone. It's worth it. Yeah.
I've got one question for Aiden. Like, what's next for Aiden? Because obviously, you've done very well in the DM setting. You're doing well in the operating space as well, of course, with uni going on as well. But what's like your short-term, mid-term, and long-term going forward?
Yeah, I would say my goal is to grow my personal brand. So I recently like posted content as well. So that is something that I want to double down on and eventually just grow my agency as well. Yeah, bro, it's quite funny, bro, because like both of us, bro, I think we are the only sales coaches that operate. Like there isn't a lot of sales coaches that operate.
I remember us having a talk like 8-9 months ago.
Yeah.
Look at us now.
Yes, sir, bro. Yeah. A lot of sales coaches, like they sales manage, but not really operate. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes, sir. But
I have one more question. Sorry. Sorry to interrupt.
No worries.
I was wondering if you could share how did you get your first role as a DM setter?
Okay, so the first role that I got as a DM setter was for a tennis coach. A tennis coach. And the thing that I did was that I leveraged my closing experience and I told him that I wanted to DM set. I reached out to an operator and I told him that I've closed X amount of deals and I want to DM set because I want to learn the setting process. And I did exactly what I told Nish to do as well. I did a script for tennis DM setting and I filmed the loom and I sent it to him. And the guy was super impressed. He was like, there's no other setter that kind of like went the extra mile to do up a custom DM script, send it to him and said that, let's review it before the interview. So that's how I got the role.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think it's okay to go for commission-based pay or monthly salary type of pay when you're just getting started with high ticket sales? Like I do not have experience, right? So should I just go for monthly pay or commission based?
I would say if you can find a role with a base pay, if possible, and then get commissions on top of that as well. If not, I wouldn't say to think so much of like, whether it's a base pay or commission, just get your foot into the door. If that is your first offer, just get like 5% or 4%. First, get your first offer and then use that as leverage to get other offers in the future. So try to get a base pay. If not, it's fine. If it's your first offer, just get your foot in the door. Do you recommend making a new Twitter handle or IG? Because my Twitter is polluted with irrelevant tweets and on IG I'm not active. Okay. Do you mean for your business account, Dalpan?
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, to like reach out to people.
It depends on you. If you have like decent posts already on your old account, like your personal account, and if you don't mind like letting your friends and family know that you do high ticket sales, then you can just reach out to that because it looks more like a real account, right? If you start a new account, if it has like less than 100 followers, you don't have authority. It's gonna seem like, oh, this guy is another, just another setter, right?
You're
So
talking about Instagram or Twitter or both?
both.
Because Instagram, I don't think I have 100 followers. I'm not really active on that. And Twitter is mostly, I tweet stuff that are related to my space and my thinking. So I don't think it would resonate to people who are in sales at the moment.
Twitter is really easy to build up, bro. If I were you, I would start a new Twitter account.
I'm thinking the same because Instagram, I don't use it a lot. Twitter is what I use normally.
I would just say to build up both. Just restart a new account on IG and then use that to network and get your first few clients. Curious, how did you land the closer offer? Did you have any prior experience? Okay, the question that Amish asked, I have a very good answer to this. Okay, wait, before I go there, let me answer this. So I was in a closing program in the past. So I landed it through my mentor's network. And as I said, right, I have prior door-to-door experience. So I was a sales rep, like knocking doors in Singapore, selling like educational products. So I kind of like talking to people and all that. So I used that as leverage. So I didn't tell them like I didn't have experience. I just said that I did 50K in sales at 18, but I didn't specify, right, whether it was from door-to-door or online sales. You guys got to be like smart about it. Like example, right? Are any of you guys like athletes over here? Like you can say something like, I example is a fitness offer, right? Because I was XYZ, maybe I did like a certain sport. I would understand the human body and how to actually communicate with clients that want to improve their physique, right? And that alone, your fitness experience is going to give you an edge over every other applicant that applies for the offer. That's an example. So you guys got to be creative around it, like how you can stand out, right? Once you land that one offer, everything snowballs because now you can use that offer as leverage to get more and more offers, more and more clients yourself.
I just want to ask from your experience, right? When the first time you hit 10K per month, right? Because I've heard this from Avesta as well. Like 10K per month is not like that big of an amount. So is that your experience as well when you hit 10K per month for the first time?
When I hit 10K a month, it was pretty good. Like I felt pretty good. I think it was a good milestone to reach. But yeah, I think it's not like that life-changing. Like it didn't really change in terms of lifestyle. My expenses stayed the same as well. I didn't spend a lot. As I said, right? I'm still a student. Yeah, so I just rent my own apartment. I didn't really increase my expenses.
So as you said that you are still a student, so how do you manage the thing back and forth? College?
You mean like in class?
Yeah, not in class. While you leave the class and you might have some work from the university also. So how do you manage that thing?
Good question.
How much do you delegate between the work and the study?
Good question. So you need to structure your day, like every single day. Okay. You need to put like the highest priority stuff in the morning.
Yeah.
Get those done. So what I mean by those, right, is example, like your uni work. Okay. Reviewing your sales calls. All of this like trench work, get it done in the morning. And then the rest of the day, you can do whatever you want, going to classes and all that. And at night, you can take calls. I don't think like calls, in my opinion, it's deep work. It's more like just showing up to the calls, learning new stuff, interacting with people. So that's how I got my work done. So get everything that you need to do at the morning and then do that. Another good thing that I kind of implemented is something called manager days and worker days. Okay. So what I mean by this is you only open up certain slots in the week for calls, and every other day you reserve it for only deep work.
Yeah.
Okay. So you don't take calls on the days that you're supposed to do deep work because you're gonna get kind of like confused, right? Right.
Yeah,
You're gonna so you want to separate those days. Do you have a team? Okay, this is a very good question. So, when you guys eventually grow out of sales into operating or whatever, you want to find team members that cover your weaknesses. So I'll give you an example, right? I'm a guy that really likes like business, really likes like sales, marketing, but I'm not that good at like the tech stuff, right? I kind of find it a bit boring, you know? So I got an ops manager to help me do all the automations, the Looker Studio, the Zapier. Those are like tools, by the way, like system tools. So I can focus on what I do best, right? The client facing work, managing the team and all that. So if you are the sales guy, find a marketing guy. If you are a front facing guy, find a back end guy. You know, that's going to cover your time and it's just going to be more, you're just going to have fun doing what you want to do.
I want to loop back to what you had said earlier about, starting with value, right? When you're outreaching and stuff like that. So as a closer, rather than pitching my service, like what's the initial value that we can provide to influencers?
Are you going to reach out to influencers or sales managers and growth operators?
Right now, it's been influencers mainly, but yeah, I do need to start texting and talking to managers and operators as well. Yeah.
So what I do for my community members, right, is that I have a drive and I get them to put sales recordings of themselves. So example, if they have a role play call, I get them to link an MP3 file inside the Google Drive as well, which includes their Loom, their resume, and their values and all that. And then they send that drive to their interviewer or like the business owner. So the business owner can see exactly what kind of person you are, where your skill set's at, and make a good decision on whether to hire you or not, right on the spot. So, for example, for you, right? Are you a DM setter or a phone setter?
Closer.
You're a closer. Okay. Do you have mocks, maybe with Arbesh or anyone else?
No, I don't have that.
Get a couple of good mocks, and link it into, like, send it to them. What are the common mistakes for a setter? Yeah. So the main thing that setters, common mistakes is that they feel like the thing setting is just booking a call in, right? So example, they have a conversation with the prospect and they don't do anything after the call is booked, right? A post-booking process is so important because it gets the prospect to show up, watch the assets. Example, they watch the VSL, right? Or watch the student testimonial, which is going to eventually increase the chance of the prospect closing. You know, you have to make it as easy as possible for your closer. At starting your journey, how did you make yourself stick to the plan while things were not as expected? Yeah, I literally just like, I couldn't fail, bro. Like if I failed, then like everyone that told me that what I was doing was a scam would be right. Like everyone in Asia, right? I'm not sure if you guys know this, like if you guys had this same experience, but like people think like this whole shit is a scam. So if I were to fail, then they're gonna be like, oh, Aiden is, I'm right overall. Aiden is a failure, right? So I'm not gonna give up until I make it. When you made your first 10K a month, what was your parents' reaction? They were like, holy shit, it's real. Like they were very, very shocked. Like they didn't know that what I was doing was legal at first. They thought like I was doing some illegal shit.
I've got one, if no one else has.
Okay.
If you were to go back again, if you were to start again, how would you kind of do it again? Like what route would you take? Would you go down the same route or would you go down a different route? Or would you even do growth operating or setting, if you were to start again?
Yeah, if I were to start again, I would say I would go into become a setter first. I'll become a setter first, a DM setter, and then I would pitch the owner on letting me close disqualified leads. So for example, like the closer, right? He doesn't want to take the leads. I can tell the owner like, yo, you know what? Just give me the leads. I'm gonna try closing it myself. So you get like 15% instead of 5% while you're still learning the skill. And then if you are a G, the closer is gonna probably teach you on how to close the leads as well. So I would do that, become a hybrid setter and closer, and then run up closing or setter management for like a good 6 to 7 months before I go into operating. So yeah, my path is pretty weird because of school, bro. Like school is the main thing that is kind of like holding me back. Yeah.